Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name's Tricia Edgar, and I am pinch hitting. They ran out of board members, so I get to be the HR committee chair welcoming words person this morning. I'd like to welcome all of you to the North Shore Unitarian Church, where our mission is to empower people to live with greater depth, meaning, and purpose. And one of the things I've been reflecting this week about many of the difficult things that have happened in my community, which is in Lynn Valley this week, and things that have happened in the lives of people that I know in the last couple of weeks. And one of the reasons that I really value our church is because it reminds me to be kind, and it reminds me to be kind not in a big way, although it does that too, but it reminds me to be kind in all the small interactions that I have with people. And thinking about the interactions that I've had with the people who have been affected by the personal and larger tragedies, it makes me so glad that those interactions have been such positive ones, and that we have that wonderful community in Lynn Valley that is coming together to support all of those individuals. And of course, I fail in that regularly in my kindness, so that's why I have to keep on coming here regularly. So I'd like to give a special welcome to visitors. If you're new to our community, we invite you to sign in on that little iPad in the lobby or fill out a card on your seat. And our greeters, who are wearing the handy name tags that says greeter, would be happy to answer questions that you might have. And after church, you can come downstairs and there's coffee and conversation. In our community, we celebrate people from all walks of life. So I'd like to welcome you no matter who you are and where you come from, who you love, how you experience the sacred, and we hope that you will all feel welcome here today. Welcome. Now, we're changing it up a little bit today. We're doing announcements right after the welcome, so I get to do those as well. I'd like to remind you in relation to the fire that happened in Lynn Valley. Lynn has created a table with cards for the firefighters, just an acknowledgement that it can be really difficult when things like that happen, especially when there is loss of life, and that if anyone, children or adult people, would like to go downstairs later and create a card, that would be most appreciated. And Reverend Barbara would like you to know that she will be here for service next Sunday. She will preach, the choir will sing, she'll be with us all week, and after the July break, she will be back to lead two services, one on August the 19th and one on August the 26th, and she'll also be in the office at that time. So please remember, there's one more service before the break. Thank you.
We're going to do something we've never quite done before, which is a sound creation. In the same way as each flower is beautiful, and yet when you put them all together, as Diane is doing right now, you get the most exquisite bouquet. We're going to play with doing that with sound this morning, instead of doing it straight up in one piece of music. What it is I'm going to start a very simple rhythm, and there's several ways that I can make rhythm. So I'm going to start on something very simple. And I'd like you to imagine exactly the way you're doing a rhythm that fits with mine and that it represents exactly just who you are. And then we're just going to keep doing that rhythm. I'd encourage you to think in terms of mostly once you've found the perfect rhythm for yourself, hold that rhythm and let it just join into all the other sounds. Once you're comfortable with it, you can listen to the sound of all those rhythms joining in together. Here we go.
Oh, well, thank you, Allison. Oh, my goodness, wasn't that fun? Oh, gosh. Well, good morning, everyone. In case you've forgotten who I am, since you've hardly known me for a week, but it feels like a month to me, I will say. I'm Reverend Barbara, and it's my privilege and pleasure to be serving you as your consulting minister this year. And I'm delighted to welcome you here on this wonderful service of fellowship and friendship and love and beauty. Our theme this month is blessing, which is such an overarching and wonderful theme, as these themes tend to be. And I am very blessed to be with you on this second Sunday. I feel like I've gotten to know some of you a bit already and hope to get to know more of you as time goes on. And I will be here again next Sunday. Please be here with me. It's lonely to preach from a pulpit when no one is in the pew. I also want to acknowledge that today is Father's Day. Today is Father's Day. And my father has been dead almost 30 years, and I realized today that this would have been 30 years ago was the last time that I spent some time with my father on Father's Day. And I think of all of us who've lost our fathers, that it can be sad and hard. But I also know that there are fathers here among us. And if you are a father, if you're a grandfather, if you fathered in any fashion, will you just stand up or raise your hand so we can honor you? Thank you. It is so important that male-identified people who father in the world offer their blessings to young people, to youth, to young adults, to all of us. It's such an important gift. So thank you, all of you dads and granddads and fathering individuals out there. But today is also Flower Communion, and this is a uniquely Unitarian ritual, and we'll be learning a little bit more about it later in the service. But it's a time that invites us to reflect on the beginning of summer. We're almost at the summer solstice. All of these flowers that we'll see in a moment will remind us of our community and our individuality, and Allison did that so beautifully also with sound. And I'm so delighted that our young people are here with us today as we honor our religious education program. As someone who grew up Unitarian Universalist, I can't tell you how much it matters. It matters extraordinarily. So our worship this morning recognizes the blessings that emerge when we create religious community that allows people of all ages, all genders, all backgrounds, all beliefs to truly be themselves and to blossom into their unique beauty. Seeing the best in each other really, really matters. And I know when we come here in this church, we are blessed with love and amazing grace because our hearts are indeed in a holy place. And I know that you know this song, written by Joyce Poley, a local girl, as it were. I've known Joyce for years, worked with her in the Musicians Network, so I'm thrilled that we can sing this beautiful song. I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing. It's hymn number 1008 in your teal hymnal if you wish to look at the music, but the words will be right up here. Let us sing together.
When our heart is in the holy place, when our heart is in the holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in the holy place, and we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and pride. We see our faces in each other.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Father's Day to you. I want to invite Juliana up here to read a poem by Pablo Neruda, she in Spanish and I in English.
A Dios doy gracias por ser mi Padre, por tus reproches y consejos, por el bien que me enseñaste y de mí ser siempre cuidaste, por ser Padre bondadoso, lleno de paz y sabiduría, porque amas la verdad, justicia y rectitud en demasía, por ser mi Padre amado y enseñarme la caridad, sentimientos nobles te cubren, no conoces la maldad. Caballero noble y parco, me enseñaste a luchar, aspirando siempre a lo más alto y a mis sueños no renunciar. Por aborrecer todo lo malo, por tus celestiales valores, por guiarme de la mano en senderos llenos de flores.
I give thanks to you, my Father, for your reprimands and advice, for the goodness you taught me, and how you always took care of me, for being a kind Father, full of peace and wisdom, because you deeply love truth, justice, and integrity, for being my beloved Father and teaching me clarity. Nobility encompasses you. Evil has no place in your life. Noble, gentle man, you taught me how to fight, always aspiring to the highest goal and never giving up on my dreams. For rejecting all evil, for your lofty values, for guiding me by the hand through paths full of flowers. Thank you. And now we're going to have the Flaming Chalice dedication. We kindle the flame as a symbol of our gathering.
May the light of understanding illuminate our darkness. May the warmth of sharing bring us peace.
Please rise.
Sia
that's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Diane. And thank you to all of you for bringing these beautiful flowers for our service today. So I want to ask a question, and I'd like you to raise your hand if this applies to you. If you became a Unitarian or a Unitarian Universalist, basically high school years or below. So if you're one of those people, will you just raise your hand? Yes, exactly. Young people, you should be raising your hands too. Yes, if you are, yes, because you are here being a Unitarian Universalist, which is pretty amazing. So I grew up Unitarian Universalist, and my father became a minister when I was 1 year old. Anybody here one? They're down, they're somewhere else, I expect. I don't really remember what it was like for him to be anything but a minister. So I grew up coming to church, and it was pretty cool most of the time until it wasn't. And then it got cool again, you know. But there were certain people in my life that were really important to me that were not my parents. Do any of you have anybody in your life that's important to you that's not your parent? Yeah. And for me growing up Unitarian, Universalist, those people were pretty darn special. And anyone here know the letters LRY mean anything to any of you? Raise your hand if the words LRY mean anything. When I was in high school, LRY was the youth program, Liberal Religious Youth. And my LRY leader was named Linda, and she was really amazing. Linda was just one of those people who took in a very sort of lonely and sad teenager, that would be me, when I was 14 years old, or maybe, I don't know, 13 or 14, and she took me under her wing. She taught me more things than my parents knew about, partly because she did teach what was called AYS back then. Anyone know what AYS was? Yeah. Which is the OWL for my generation. It was a very important time. I would like to ask, are there any of you out there who were raised Unitarian Universalists, and just like we're honoring fathers especially today, we're also honoring those of you who were raised Unitarian. So if you were one of those people, was there an adult in your life that was really important to you? If so, will you just call out their names?
I don't know the name, but my ministers were extra special when I was 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I'm going to pull out this microphone because I think we should hear these things. Carrie's going to be Oprah or somebody like that, Vanna. There we go.
I think they were special partly because they always gave me a candy.
Shallow.
Anyone else has an adult that from their Unitarian upbringing that they'd like to name? Yeah, somebody over here. Oh, watch the cord there, Carrie.
Do you want to say something? Oh, she doesn't want to say something.
All right, anyone else out there? Yeah, we got Marsha over here. Oh, here's Kara.
I can't even name them all, but there was this whole group of women who volunteered in the Sunday school when I was growing up in the North Shore Unitarian Church. There were so many of them, and they were all wonderful, and we were all really bad. And so, and so
somebody remembers.
And they were all just wonderful because they didn't give up on us.
I'm going to speak for my adult children who are 35 and 38, and the person I want to raise up is Lynn Sabrin.
Yay, Lynn. Go Lynn.
Speaking of whom,
Well, I didn't grow up UU, but I grew up UU as an adult. And the person I want to lift up had a lot of faith in me and a bunch of other bumbling directors of religious education in the Pacific Northwest. And her name was Eleanor Hunting.
Oh, yes.
And she was just the dearest lady, and Anne would know her
knew
too,
her
and
too,
Barbara
yeah.
knows her well. Just an amazing woman, and one of the people for whom I thank that I still am doing this work.
So I know that there's lots of names out there, and I hope you'll share them with other people later. But now I'd like to ask another question, once again, primarily of those of you who are raised UU, though, you know, others may have something important to say. But was there a value or an idea or a spiritual understanding that perhaps you learned as a young person in our congregations? Does anyone have something that you really remember that you learned that impacted you growing up in a Unitarian congregation. And here's Marcia. Don't sit down, Carrie. When you sat down, I was like, no, 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 there's more to come. So, oh, we didn't know the handheld was here. Sorry, we're learning. Yes, we shall ponder.
Like Ann Mail, I was going to speak on behalf of my 2 adult sons to lift up Lynn. But I'm going to just say briefly that yesterday my husband had a conversation with my older son's partner, Elena, who comes from France, about the engagement of our younger son to a young woman who comes from China. And Elena told Jim she thought that Eric's highest value was tolerance. And it is, and she said a few other things, but that's one of the things she said. And he learned it from us, I think, a bit, but he learned it from here. He learned it from every one of you. And yeah, that's it.
Here's someone back here. Raise your hand there back there so Carrie can find you.
You asked the question about what we learned growing up UU, which is probably from 6 years old for me. It was social justice. And of course, I'm old enough to know, as our LOI group, besides us having those fun ski trips that our parents didn't know about, we marched against the Vietnam War. We also were in the first parts of Earth Day, and that was all a part of our church.
Very good.
I think what I took away among many things, though, was the value of ecumenicism. Our church was valued visiting other churches, understanding what their theologies were, so that we could understand, value, and recognize the importance of a variety of religious observances.
Thank you. And we're going to have one more question now. This one could apply to anyone. But what is your hope for our young people? We have a lot of young people here today. What is your hope that when they're an adult, what do you hope they're going to say, like some of the folks here, some of the things they just said? What do you hope that our young people will be taking away from their religious education? Yeah, Michael, here we have someone.
Well, this is another plug for Lynn's religious education program. But I think what the young people learn is the value of questioning and not accepting everything. And so even these little ones, when they go to the children's program, that's in a sense what they're learning. They're learning how to think clearly and not to accept everything that they're taught. And I hope that they will pass that on to their children too.
Yeah, right here.
Kindness and that's not the word I wanted. Kindness and living with generosity. I couldn't, it just went.
It went. They do.
Anyone else wish to offer a blessing here?
I'd like the children to develop just general religious literacy so that they will not be convinced by people who are trying to use religion to support bad positions, and they will know that no, that's not true, that religion doesn't mean that.
And we'll take one more. Anne, you have one more?
I hung around with the youth group for a number of years, and the thing that I heard from a lot of them was this was the place where they could drop their masks and just be who they are. And I would hope they would carry that through into their adult life, know they are exactly okay just the way they are, and to live their true values.
Well, I hope that all of you young people who are here listening to these adults talk will know that the blessings of these adults in your life is really valuable, and that it's really important to reach out to people who aren't just your parents. Ask your parents first, but make friends with other adults. That it's so important to have values that you grow into. And it's good to know that there are people here who want you to grow up to be, as I like to say, the best that you can be, to become Unitarian Universalists, not because our faith is the only faith or the best faith, but because that's what we're raising you to value, are the values of tolerance, of acceptance, of love, of kindness, and certainly being yourself, because there is nobody better than who you are. So let's just take a moment as Toby plays a little bit of music to let all that sink in and think of all the blessings and gifts that we've been given by so many.
Beautiful. One of the many blessings in my life is that I have the privilege of working and playing with our church school children and often their friends that they bring to our church school. And I get to collaborate with teachers, assistants, team members, and others who support family ministry here at North Shore. In recognition of the many blessings that they bring to our children's program, I would like to give them the gift of light, to remind them of the light that they so generously share with us. This is their gift. Each candle's glass container has a saying on it which represents some aspect of what our teachers and supporters bring to their volunteer efforts. Here are some of the thoughts and comments that are on these containers. Believe in who you are and all you can be. Enjoy each day and its simple pleasures. this each time. Dreams do come true. Hope for a better future, brighter future. Miracles happen every day. Life is a wonderful journey. I hope that each of you will be blessed with the satisfaction of knowing that you have made a difference in the lives of our children. May you be blessed with the joy that comes from being part of a loving community of seekers, part of the village that it takes to raise a child. May you be blessed with the knowledge that you are held in love and gratitude. We thank you so much. And as I call the names of all of those people who've been such an important part of family ministry here, I'm going to ask you to gather behind the flowers so that Jean can take a quick picture. And I'm going to ask Carrie to help me just move this out for a sec. Just grab one of these. Yeah. And then we'll move it back at the end. I'd like to call Cara Elrod. Cara is our religious education assistant, without whom this program would be rather bumpy, let me tell you. She's here every Sunday. Joan Cox, who helps with all kinds of clerical stuff. I know that she's traveling right now. Allison, who teaches us music every week and during the pageant time. Oh yeah, she didn't expect this. That's okay. Something I should have been doing years and years ago. And part of the family ministry team, Jen Ritchie, who is our chair. Mary Conquest, who I don't know if she's here. And I just want to say, even though she's not here, her family is moving to the island at the end of this month when school lets out, and we will sorely miss her, Audrey, and Paul. Olivia Bornick, who I know is camping with her family for Father's Day this weekend. Phil Watt, who I know is here. Elizabeth Cody Rudder. Tricia Edgar. Leslie Girodi, who will be winging her way home from Europe soon, next day. Katerina Gomez. Bruce Grierson. Gabby Harvey, I know she's not able to be here today. Suzanne Krebs, also not here. DJ McKinnon, who I know is downtown today. Marguerite Mahi, lots of people away. Ann Mail. And it's thanks to Ann Mail that we even have spirit play in this church, so I want to do an extra thank you to her. Erin McNeil. Sam Mahler. Sam very kindly field tested our Truth, Healing, and Reconciliation program this year. That took an extra special effort. Jessica Motherwell. Misty Patterson, I know she's not here. Yasha Ramsey Ladder, I think she's up at her lake. Bill Richardson, who is not here. Bill and Jessica are here every week that they're not traveling with our 11 and 12-year-olds. Doug Sabrin, my rotten husband, is not here. Well, I might give him his gift.
You can't say that on Father's Day.
Joy Silver. He's not so rotten. He substitutes for Jessica and Bill. Kit Toe, who is traveling. A.J. Veerman, who is also traveling. Jilly Watson, who, when she isn't traveling, is here every single Sunday doing spirit play, so extra kudos to her. And Kay Wellwood, who I don't think I saw. Thank you all. May you be blessed.
And before everyone sits down, actually, let me just take a moment to add my personal thanks to all of you. I haven't worked with you this year, But as someone who grew up Unitarian Universalist, I can't tell you how much it means to me to know that you are working with our children, blessing them with love and affection and challenge and all the things that you do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I also want to take a moment to make a special thank you to this lovely woman here. Come here, you, that's you. I've known Lynn Savarin for at least 30 years. We worked together when I was doing religious education back many, many years ago as a young associate minister, and Lynn and I learned a lot in those years, and it's such a privilege for me to get to work with Lynn. I can't tell you what a gift it is. So this is a little thing from me, and then this is a lovely gift from your committee, who think that you are the best, because you are.
Thank you so much. This will replace the hydrangea that Dookie mulled over when he put the car through the house. So it's the one thing that Doug lamented. Never mind that the kitchen was destroyed, but we lost the hydrangea, so thank you.
Thank you all.
Take a moment to settle, to rest comfortably in your seat, to feel the floor, your breathing moving in and out. I invite you into a time of prayer or meditation, followed by a shared silence. What a gathering! The purple tongues of iris licking out at spikes of lupin, the orange crepe skirts of poppies lifting over buttercup and daisy. Who can be grim in the face of such abundance? There is nothing to compare, no need for beauty to compete. The voluptuous rhododendron, the plain grass, are equally filled with themselves, equally declares the miracles of color and form. This is what community looks like. This vibrant jostle, stem by stem, declaring the marvelous joining. This is the face of communion, the incarnation once more, gracefully resurrected from winter. Hold these things together in your sight: purple, crimson, magenta, blue. You will be feasting on this long after the flowers are gone. In this community of care, we hold and witness one another through the seasons of our lives. In this time of stillness, may the sanctuary hold whatever is on your heart today. If there are names of people on your heart, let them tumble over like a stream. We light a second candle of witness as we recall people and places near and far, stories which weigh on our minds and hearts. May we extend to all beings the compassion we offer one another here. Would the ushers prepare to take the offering? This week, we are giving the plate to the Rainbow Refugee Committee, founded in 2000. It's a member-driven, all-volunteer community group that supports and advocates for people seeking refugee protection because of persecution based on sexual orientation, gender identity, or HIV status.
In the same way as earlier in the service we did a rhythm sound creation, we're now going to do another one based on the notes of the minor pentatonic. These sound like this. Yeah. So I would invite you to just pick either one note, two notes, three notes, all of them, and just create something that fits. As you're doing it, you listen to your own voice, you listen to the voices around you, and you let the sound and the vibrations enter into your own body. I would encourage you to do it this time with your eyes closed, remain seated, and just absorb those vibrations. I'll start. Do, do. Let the sound build. And building. Spread your sound to the people on either side of you. Now spread the sounds so the people in front of you, behind you can hear them as well. Now spread it out so the entire room is filled with the sound of your vibration and your voice. Ooh.
Well, today we are participating in the uniquely Unitarian Flower Communion ceremony, which was first celebrated a long time ago, over 90 years back, in Prague, in the Czech Republic. The minister who started that Unitarian church of just a few years earlier, a man by the name of Norbert Čapek, wanted to be welcoming of all kinds of people from different backgrounds, so he looked for ways to do that in the services there that would include everyone and unify the church. Now, communion seemed like a good way to do this, but he didn't want to use the traditional Christian communion because it left out those people in the congregation who weren't Christian, like the many Jews in the congregation. So he invented the flower communion, because flowers are something everybody can enjoy, and his idea was for each person to bring one flower with them to church and then leave with a different one. And this way, all the people, regardless of their differences, would feel like they were a part of the church and connected to each other. Well, many Unitarian Universalist congregations are doing this the same way, one way or another. We tell the story, we honor a great Unitarian, and we unify our congregation by sharing flowers. Well, in a moment, we're going to have a blessing of the flowers, and then we'll go right into singing How Could Anyone by Libby Roderick. And it's in the Teal Hymnal Supplement. It's 1053. But the words will also be on the screen, and honestly, it's super easy that by the time we've sung it a few times, it will be in your head. As we sing, you'll be invited to come forward and take a flower from this beautiful bouquet. And if for whatever reason you can't get up here, please ask a neighbor, ask a child to come and bring you a flower. It's absolutely fine. And if you didn't bring a flower, do not worry about it. We have plenty. And one of the cool things that we're going to do differently today is we're going to ask all the fathers here to go first. So fathers, you get to go first. But after the fathers come up, then we'll go row by row, or section by section. We'll start over here, then we'll go over here. And you guys have done this a few times. I think you know what to do. So just follow along. But and we're going to sing. Allison's going to lead us in singing, and we're going to sing some, we're going to hum some, so just follow along, have fun with it. But before we do that, we are going to bless this batch of beauty gathered from many gardens using a translation of Norbert Čapek's own words that are in this season spoken in Unitarian churches far and wide. And to make this blessing even more special, I want to invite all the children who are here to come up here. Come on, I need you. Can't do this by myself. Come on up. I want you to stand around the flower table, okay? So come stand around the table. You can come on this side. All right? You can come on over here. All right? You get to stand around the table. Every kid who's here. All right. Okay, so here's the thing. I want you to put your hands out like this. Both hands. I just can do one because I got this in my other hand. And you guys do that too. Hands up. All right? Because we're going to send all of our good energy and love into these flowers while Carrie and I read these words written by Norbert Čapek almost 100 years ago. So here we go.
Infinite Spirit of life, we ask for a blessing on these messengers of fellowship and love.
May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion.
May they also remind us of the value of sharing together so that we may cherish friendship as a most precious gift.
May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed in this world.
In the name of Providence, which implants in the seed the future of the tree, and in our hearts the longing for love.
In the name of the Spirit of life in which we move as siblings.
In the name of sages and great religious leaders who sacrifice their lives to hasten the coming of peace and justice.
Let us renew our resolution, sincerely, to be real brothers and sisters and siblings, regardless of any kind of barrier which keeps us apart.
In this holy resolution, may we be strengthened, knowing that we are one in a unifying spirit of love, and may we strive to live an ever more fulfilling life.
And let us all say, Amen. The flowers are well and truly blessed, and it is now time to take part in the flower communion. So Allison is going to lead us in song, and if you all can go back to your families and come up with them. If any of you have dads here, you can come up with your dad.
Let's start with everybody humming.
And while we hum, dads, come on up.
Upper voices, let's sing.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Everybody together, joining their voices.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? And did anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Tenors and basses only.
How could anyone ever tell you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected.
Everybody together again, with the words but no piano.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever
Take a risk, try harmonizing.
you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And piano only, just let it roll over you.
And as we sing it the last time, I invite you to hold your flowers up and look at each other and sing this to everyone in this room as if you mean it. remind you how blessed you are to be a part of this beloved community. May you honor those who have taught you that you are beautiful, whole, and loving, including your fathers. And may you give back to the world the gifts that you have been given, gifts of love, joy, and hope. Bountiful blessings indeed. Now join me in extinguishing the flame in our flaming chalice, the symbol of our faith. We send forth this flame. Its light we shine on all, its warmth we share with all. Please join hands with your neighbor, rise in body or spirit, and we will sing together, circle round for freedom, circle round for peace.